So we don't exactly have a full house, but thank you each and every one of you for taking out time and participating. Uh, we did speak prior to the closed room session, but for those who were not there, just thought I'll give you a broad context of what this discussion is and what we're aiming to achieve from that. So this closed room is something that we've been doing consistently over multiple platforms, and the whole idea is it's not every day that we get access to D2C brand founders, right, and leadership from various brands, especially under one roof. And for us, we're a service provider, right? We offer supply chain services, and the whole essence of what we do is we need to design and create solutions which solve problems which our customers face. And internally, we have a culture of something known as the voice of customer. We do this with our existing customers and the market in general. So the whole idea is, and what we want to take away from this discussion today is, your feedback, your suggestions, your thoughts, and hopefully have them implemented in what we do and help serve the industry better. We'll probably start with a brief round of introductions. I mean, I'll start. I'm John. I head retail for DHL supply chain in India, right? I have Kushagra with me.
Hello everyone, I'm Kushagra. I take care of DFN product. It's a fulfillment network product that we have at DHL geared towards D2C supply chain, omni-channel supply chain. So that's a product that we have come up a few years back. I take care of it and we would love to hear from you more.
Sure. And probably I'll give you a sense of what is it that DHL is in India in terms of a broad outlook. Yeah. So this is something that we typically face, right? Whenever we say DHL, customers or the general market tends to confuse us with the other business entity. So we are representing DHL Supply Chain, which is the domestic logistics arm in India. We typically do warehousing solutions, in-country domestic distribution. So that's the business that we represent here. We have our sister arms, DHL Express, which takes care of cross-border small parcel movement. So any e-commerce orders which have to go to, let's say, outside India, cross-border shipments. Express takes care of that. They have their own fleet of airplanes, the brand endorsement with F1, Man United, Mumbai Indians, etc. That's that arm. Then we have DHL Global Forwarding, which takes care of larger, bulkier cargo by air, by sea, other modes also. And then, of course, Blue Dart, which probably all of you all use or some of you all use. So Blue Dart is, again, a DHL entity. We control the ownership there. And it's a publicly listed company, yeah. So broad introduction with regards to DHL, probably I'll ask Preety to, please.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm Preety Agrawal, founder of Mural India. It's a house of brands, 5 D2C brands, KesarCo being the most biggest portfolio in the group. And we deal into the food and agricultural products. So all 5 of our brands cater to different set of consumers in multiple categories, ranging from flour teas, fruit teas, seasonings, spices, dry fruits. And we have recently also launched some new fragrances from the agricultural products. So I'm here to know and meet you all. Thank you.
Hi guys, I'm Puneet Tyagi. I basically am Vice President as EGOSS Shoes. So we're a leather shoe manufacturer. We've been there for a while, and we're a majorly offline player. And we've just recently late in a sense, recently moved into the online space, looking at how we were struggling with offline and too many players coming into the market. So we work across 3 brands. EGOSS is our primary brand, which is still considered premium because we started around 3K upwards. Then we have a brand called Lafatio, which is premium luxury shoes, starts at around 7K, goes up to 13K. Then we have a ladies collection as well. And we're there at almost 2,000 stores pan-India. And recently, like I said, moving into online. And the fact that we've been in offline space for so long and very few of you would probably know about the brand is the reason that, we've struggled because we didn't really put too much effort in marketing, because in earlier times, it used to sell, right? You just make shoes and it used to just sell, but doesn't happen anymore. So yeah, so it's time the old folks in the company are taking a back seat, and we're the ones trying to make, like, the journey, a new journey in a sense, and trying to figure out new things. So even earlier when we were having a discussion about what this is about, I'm like, fulfillment solution वो क्या होता है हमारे, मतलब we're there pan India doing so much of it, but our solutions, our setup is as basic as they come, and they work somehow. So but I guess there's time for change for everything, so I'm looking forward to interacting with all of you as well.
Hi everyone, my name is Pushkar. I'm the founder of Savai Fragrances and SAADAA Perfumes. It's a 3-generation-old fragrance business where we have been catering to brands around the world, especially in Middle East. All the brands that have retail outlets, which is a very educated and matured market right now. And we have been serving these brands for perfume oils since the past 25 or 26 years now. And when I joined the business, that was around 12 years back, we completely changed our direction to a fine perfumery line, which usually people here understand as French perfumery. So the first challenges I faced that, यार तेरी brown चमड़ी है तो तू कैसे perfume बनाएगा? I'm still overcoming those challenges. A lot of places, getting success with that, and making people believe that Indian perfumers can also do a great job, and our perfumes can also be appreciated in the creative sense around the world. My wife also is here with me. Her name's Kanishka. She came up with the idea of SAADAA Perfumes. We started a D2C venture a year ago. Now we are present around 2,000 stores in GT and Reliance Centro, of course available online, and exporting to USA, Panama, UK through distribution channels. So this has been the journey so far, trying to establish the Indian perfumery at a global level. Thank you.
Good afternoon, guys. This is Ashwini, founder and CEO of Dennison. So my journey, the brand journey started in 1988 by my father, and my journey started 10 years back in 2014, and coming from a very small city named Gwalior. And technically for me, it was never an idea to disrupt or I saw any gap or nothing like that. For us people in like born and brought up in a small city, it was more about livelihood, I would say. So that's where I got and completed my MBA and was looking to build up something of my own. But yeah, so we had a retail store in Gwalior which was running in the name of Dennison. But I don't want it to sit on the store. That was the only thing which I was clear about it. And then e-commerce was booming around 2014. Flipkart, Amazon, Snapdeal, they were all leading the game. And just got into the wagon of those and listed my products on Snapdeal. And 1st July 2014, we shipped our first order. That's where our journey started. And down the line, 10 years, we have been like present on we were all everywhere, but now we went exclusive with Myntra and selling on our website, Flipkart, these 3 places. And we are a part of Myntra brand accelerator. We are doing shipping somewhere around 1,000 to 1,200 orders a day. And we are more of, as a brand, we are more of a capsule collection brand divided into 3 categories. One is a code, then a data packed, and the trends. We focus on all these 3 collections and launch the products around these things. And I think with the major differentiation at Dennison, which we make is, as we have seen after 2022, people have gone into their comfort zone after work from home thing. And the internet shoppers, with how they have got into like the internet penetration, I would say, they made following the celebs, influencers, stylists, awareness of the global and local trends, which has zoomed to tier 2, tier 3 cities. This is where we realize that generally these styles have been seen in the international brands or maybe some top Indian brands, but they're pretty expensive. That's where we bang in. We early stage product these styles and all launch them into right fit, high quality and affordable prices. And that's what we have been doing it for last 1.5 years. And touch wood, we have shipped more than 1 million orders in last 5 years. And majorly, I would say, of Dennison, the journey started 5 years back. So this is what for till now for us. Thank you so much.
Everybody can understand Hindi or I can talk in English as well. But ऐसा naturally जो सोचता हूँ वो हिंदी में ही निकलता है, तो I just thought to हिंदी बढ़िया है, मन से निकलता है. तो मेरा नाम नितिन है. नहीं, मेरे मन से नहीं निकलता. तो मेरा नाम नितिन है. मैं जयपुर से ट्रैवल कर रहा हूँ और काफ़ी अच्छा लग रहा है. एक क्लोज रूम डिस्कशन मैंने ऐसे एंटिसिपेट नहीं किया था किस तरीके से होने वाला, बट आई थिंक इट मेक्स अ लॉट मोर सेंस दैट फाउंडर टू फाउंडर वी आर एबल टू रिलेट अ लॉट विद ईच अदर्स जर्नी. थैंक यू फॉर एग्रीगेटिंग इट. What I do basically, so I drive Indi Gifts. So Indi Gifts is more like a new age India's gifting brand. So usually gifting is always treated as more like aggregated kind of thing. गिफ्टिंग में कोई ब्रांड नहीं होता, लोग को ऐसा लगता है. बट वी थॉट क्योंकि इंडिया एक बहुत ही डाइवर्सिफाइड कंट्री है, यहाँ पे साल के 365 दिन में होली, दिवाली, आपके बर्थडे, एनिवर्सरी, हाउस वार्मिंग, इंडिया एक्सप्रेसेस देयर इमोशंस थ्रू गिफ्ट्स एंड दैट्स वेयर वी सॉ आवर निश. I started my journey early. I started working in 2008 or 9, and earlier I did a lot of service work for clients, MNC, celebrities, public figure work with over 300, 400 plus people in 10 years period of time. So that gave me a very horizontal landscape, and I realized that e-commerce can be a good new big thing for this country, and we thought like why not create our own brand. And we were really good in terms of the whole communication industry. So communication become our forte, and what USP Indi Gifts has is communication through products. So every single product has a narrative. Some of the products for which we have received really good recognition, like Mummy Da Dhaba. So Mummy Da Dhaba is normal a kitchen door sign, and we sold lakhs of units of those products. And then Seed Rakhi also become good Rakhi which grows into plant. That is also trademarked to us. So we started investing a lot in terms of our IP, because the very single question everybody asks, it's easily copyable, which is also okay. But I think we are trendsetter. The mindset is already that what we create, including all the people who call themselves gifting brand, they copy our product on record. So what I really look forward to do, I realize like over the period of time, the kind of generation we've been part of, we are more our digital first generation, and we learned a lot of things on a very faster pace because of digital first economy in this country. Be it Amazon, Flipkart, we grew with them. Like we are still one of those people who created a benchmark of creating processing 10,000 plus units in a day at Amazon. So that kind of scale we already cater to, but we realize that's not permanent, that's shallow, because marketplace model is simply where marketplace don't want brands to remain on top. They want people to come and fight, and that's how they will make money. So now looking forward to create some new business models, and the simple idea of creating those models, on long term how you can create a holistic experience. Because if we just think about creating a business vertically, revenue based businesses इसमें एक brick के ऊपर एक brick रखेंगे तो उसका एक limitation है, उसके आगे वो जा नहीं सकता है. And if we just create horizontal businesses जिसको हम primarily service business बोलते हैं, तो उसकी भी एक limitation, it's always hand to mouth. So if we can find that right niche where we can create a omni business which has service and product both vertical in it, I do believe like it has more long lasting space. So creating some new business models for this whole entity, and for the same we created more organizations now. So we created our own ventures, we created our own foundation. And being a startup, creating own foundation seems not necessary right now. But I think our vision aligns with that we are not just here to build vertical space. We also want to create value, and that's working for us. Yeah, thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Pradeep Krishnakumar, the co-founder of a brand named Zouk. At Zouk we're building a modern Indian lifestyle brand. All our products are proudly Indian and also PETA approved vegan. Predominantly been an online first brand. And now sort of discovering different things around offline as we sort of scale up, and glad to be here and part of something which is very core to I think every business where there is physical fulfillment, which is supply chain. So glad to be a part here.
Hi guys, I'm Abdus, founder of Sam & Marshall. We're into the eyewear industry, eyewear sector. Too much competition, I know, but we still survived. We started the brand in 2019. I was 18-year-old at that point of time, and I didn't add much of that thing. Ki, just like what Bhai said, ki there's no, we didn't saw any gap or something like that. I just had this fascination of eyewears. I don't know why, and wanted to do a business from a very early age. I don't know why. So uh, at 18, I started a business. Used to do door-to-door selling of eyewear. Uh, took from wholesale, and then जो retailers होते हैं उनको we used to supply and everything. So gradually, within 6 months, we transited that business into an online business. Started the brand Sam and Marshall in August 2019. So yeah, it has been a 5-year journey. So it is good. Yeah, thank you. That is good.
Hi everyone, I am Riddhi Sharma, I am from Ahmedabad and I am the founder of Baby Organo. Baby Organo was started specifically in 2020, and if you have a kid at home, you might have experienced that problem that when a new mother and for a new kid, the initial days are very hard, and specifically as kids grew up, उसका कुछ ना कुछ problems होते रहते हैं health related because their immunity is getting built. उस टाइम पे व्हेन माय किड वाज 6 months ओल्ड बार बार या तो पीडियाट्रिशियन के चक्कर लग रहे या तो फिर घर में ग्रैंड मदर को कॉल करना पड़ता है, यार इसको पेट दर्द हो रहा है मैं क्या करूँ, बार बार जुकाम हो रहा है, एलोपैथी मेडिसिन नहीं देनी है मैं क्या करूँ. एंड देन आई स्टार्टेड फाइंडिंग आउट द सॉल्यूशंस फ्रॉम माय ग्रैंड मदर कि ये सब चीज़ें जो होम रेमेडीज है दैट यू कैन ट्राई टू अवॉइड दिस थिंग्स. Then I understood that मेरे friends थे काफ़ी, they have started asking me for these home remedies because they didn't have grandparents at home. Everybody has started living in the nuclear family. And then I understood that there is a category gap that I found कि यहाँ पे काफ़ी अच्छी brands है. Ayurveda is our own science, Indian science. यहाँ पे इतनी सारी brands है बड़ी बड़ी. They are doing lot of businesses, a great numbers of businesses in export market for adults products, for old age people product. But how can we not see our little ones? उनका roots build हो रहा है अभी तो, and that should build with some strong things rather than just allopathy medicines that everybody knows has some or the other kind of side effects. And that is where I found a category gap, and I've decided to start something on the home remedies based, Ayurvedic based products for babies and kids. When it comes to the logistic challenges, so in March 2020 was the time, I think January was the time I found out. So we have not discovered anything or invented anything. We are reinventing or redefining the Ayurveda for the modern parents. Ayurveda was already there. So in January 2020, we had the immunity booster for the kids. So that was 5,000-year-old remedy for the babies and kids to make their immunity strong by birth that our ancient Rishi Munis were giving to their kids at that time, that we parents don't know about these things. And whether it was a mother's instinct, a businessman's instinct, March 2020 came, the corona came, pandemic came, and at that time vaccines were available for adults, but nothing was there for the kids. And the very first product, Swarna Prashan, we launched, that is called Ayurvedic vaccine for kids in Ayurveda specifically. And this is how we started our journey. Starting, we were getting 30 orders per month. I and my husband were packing all those things at home. और वहाँ से सप्लाई करते थे अमेज़ोन एंड वेबसाइट के, एंड फ्रॉम दिस 30 orders to 30,000 orders, from a room of warehouse to now 10,000 square feet warehouse. Our journey started. There were lot many logistic related problems that we had faced. We started to we started the challenges, and we started to overcome those challenges. But I think as we expand, the challenges keeps coming, and looking forward to have some support for that.
Thanks, everyone. We have a very diverse group of representation, and I was just noting down the categories. We have Ayurvedic health supplements for kids as a category, very specific. We have representation from apparels as a segment, eyewear, fragrances, gifting, which is a broad segment, probably encompasses everything. And then we also have a house of brands with the focus on food and agricultural related products. Shoes, again, a very large category within retail. So yeah, a very diverse representation here. And we did the session yesterday also with another group again, similarly very diverse, fairly similar categories. I guess that's the theme of the overall event. So, overlapping themes there. Uh, and since most of you guys are, business people in the sense that your typical area of focus would be, and this is something that, I have an opinion as, probably your area of focus for you is how do you generate sales, how do you promote your brand. But logistics and supply chain isn't something that is, glamorous, or I don't know, you'll have to correct this notion of mine, right? That it is not typically the area of focus. It's like salt in a dish, right? You need it. If it's not there, it doesn't taste right. So cool. That's good and refreshing to hear.
If the supply chain is good, if the supply chain is sorted, if the supply chain is sorted now, let's say I talk about my brand, D2C brand, particularly online, and most of all of them will relate with me, I feel. The RTO percentage plays a very vital role profit के अंदर, आपके net profit के अंदर. So if the supply chain is not sorted, आपके RTO rates will go above 20% or maybe 25%. I'm just talking about online right now, not offline. You'll not make money. You'll keep on losing money and you'll not even know that you're losing money. 20% से जैसी नीचे होगी RTO, you'll make money. So this will play a vital role.
That's a very important point that you touched upon, and the fact that what we are seeing participating in this event is that the appreciation for supply chain and logistics apparently is going up. It's something nice, and it's coming to the forefront, especially with founders and the business heads within the organization. So a similar inference was made by Anurag Kedia, who's the founder of Pilgrim. He was part of a panel that we hosted yesterday. He also said the same thing. What he said that year one when he started the business, for him supply chain logistics was in the area of focus. He felt that as long as it is not broken, it was fine. But then as his business has evolved and he's been running the company, he says that his appreciation for supply chain and logistics is incrementally going up every year. So a good note to probably start our discussions for today. I'll probably, you have a point?
So I'd like to say, like you said, it's just a salt in the dish. But as a brand owner, I don't look at it that way. I think logistics or supply chain, for that matter, is the backbone, especially for the e-commerce. So I'd like to tell you one small thing about how. So in our warehouses, we have strictly told each of our staff members, किसी pickup वाले से कभी लड़ाई नहीं करनी है. Because they are the guys जो if you आपका reputation आज खराब हो गया, कल वो pickup के लिए नहीं आएंगे, and we are broke. So I think that's it's not just a salt, it's the entire dish. आप customer को serve जो कर रहे हो, it's all depends upon what's your supply chain behind that.
That's a great point made by Preety, and I'll pick your thoughts on that also. And this is broadly the theme for today. How do you deliver a state-of-the-art order fulfillment solution? And then we'll also touch upon other points as we go along. We'll have 3 questions posed to each and every one of you. I'll try and bring in each and every one of you into the discussion, right? And if we can move to the first slide, right? And this is where, Preeti's point becomes a lot relevant, right? What she rightly mentioned is, and good to hear that the whole experience angle of it, right? Especially if you're a online heavy business, apart from what you see on the website and finally when you receive the product, right? It's the entire experience which has customers coming back to you, right? You spend a lot of resources, money on acquiring customers, but I guess the whole game is how do you retain them? And yesterday we had Mohit, who's the founder at Miraggio. He made a very interesting statement, and that is relevant to his business. What he said is that his category of products, which is essentially handbags, it's not something that you buy multiple times in a year. The data point that he gave us is that typically you have 4 purchases happening in a year. So you'll be successful in getting the first purchase across the table via your customer acquisition strategies, your front end things. But then the fact that if you're not able to match it up with the experience, that completely kills the prospect of the customer then coming in, making the second, third, fourth purchase. So that is a point that I wanted to hear your thoughts on, Preety. If you can just move and elaborate more on that. And what we've also noticed is that the way you get customers or acquire customers, that's also evolving. Earlier, people would discover brands on platforms like Amazon, Flipkart, etc. Whatever we hear from founders now is that Instagram, social media is big. And what it does is it essentially takes your customer directly to your brand.com, right? And you have to in turn then match the same customer experience that an Amazon or a Flipkart offers. So yeah, I'd like to hear your thoughts, Preety, on this, and then probably Pushkar, you can come in and we'd like to know. Yeah.
So as a house of brand strategy, how I look at the repeat purchases is one thing that really defines the repeat in our case is the kind of category. Say for example, if I talk about staples, grocery staples, so that is something that as a consumer today, even not in just the metros, the tier 1s or tier 2s are also looking for a quick, maybe if not 10 minutes, but same day delivery. So what define for me, each one of my different brands, I solve speed at a separate level. For example, in case of food staples, I need to make sure that even though we have our multiple distribution centers, we have 3 distribution centers in India, we still create micro fulfillment centers across pan India with help of obviously the quick commerces, the hyperlocal, Flipkart, Amazon, APOBs, etc. So that the consumer does not have to wait to get the delivery. At the same time, if I talk about a different product, say a fruit tea or a flower tea, those are some of the niches where I think the consumer is okay to wait because he's just there to try the product for once, and then at the same time he's not really keen on getting it in a 10 minutes or a same day. So I think speed is something that really defines, the repeat purchases for your consumers. That's how I look at it.
Pushkar, would you like to add to that?
So I completely agree with Preety. When we started the brand, as like a year back, and we just had our website out, the first set of emails that we used to get from the website was, "मेरा माल कब आ जाएगा? कितने दिन लगेंगे? कितना टाइम लगेगा? कल मिल जाएगा? मैं ऑफिस में रहने वाला हूँ ये टाइम पे, आप इस टाइम डिलीवरी करोगे क्या?" So these were the flood of questions we received on our email. So definitely that speed of delivery creates a big trust on the brand, and when someone is ordering from the website, they don't even know your brand at the first go. So I think everyone over here, when they started out the brand, they had faced this challenge कि हम अपने कस्टमर को हमारे वेबसाइट पे ट्रस्ट कैसे कराएं. So delivering that quickly makes them trust your website and your brand indirectly. So that 100% is a very big plus for brands, and it's a big help for us. Second thing, yeah, of course, like you said, logistics, when we set it up once and we feel अरे ठीक है backend में चल रहा है यार, अब चल रहा है, लोग देख रहे हैं. So we never ponder upon it again and try to make it better. Or so I want to give kudos to one of the brands I recently shopped on, was March Tea. I really I think it's from either from your delivery channels. Yeah. So I really think that really touched me was the whole brand experience I got when I received the product. So that really made me feel wowed by how the brand packed it, and definitely it would have been their logistic partners who were having a big hand in that. And so I really felt, people who don't have the money to invest on stores, the brands who don't have a possibility of giving an offline experience to a consumer, the logistics partner plays a big part, because they help in your brand experience in a way that is coming to your doorstep, and the way they package and deliver the product, end of the day, अरे यार ये brand ने ठीक से deliver किया कि नहीं? Even though the logistics partner is delivering it, like brand deliver ठीक से किया कि नहीं? So that plays a big role in how your brand is built in the consumer's eyes.
Right. I guess Snapdeal had a very prominent campaign where they focused on this experience bit and called it Unboxing Happiness, if I remember, 2-3 years back, or probably 4 years back. 2017, yeah. Pre all the... before the Walmart thing happened, yeah. Right. Yeah. Right, yes. So, yeah. So
I had a point just to add. Just अपना example, like a shoe brand example. So basically, like I said, कि offline brand रहे हम काफी time से, and we've been around for a while. So we have different categories of customers. One is the old school customer जिसने 10 साल पहले पहना था एक shoe. He still wants. He's the easiest to please, right? And उसको दोबारा purchase कराने में ज़्यादा effort नहीं मारना पड़ता. He'll still like उसका I think जो भी हमने पहले dye बनाया होगा, उसका फर्मा बनता है एक shoe का, तो we still use it so many times because वो अभी भी best seller है. तो वो आएगा साइट पे, उसको पता है क्या पिक करना है, मॉडल नंबर पता है, अपने आप सर्च करेगा, लेगा. देर से भेजोगे, कैसे भेजोगे, he doesn't need to be wowed. He's just happy with the product that he's been using for so many years. So वो अपना sorted है. Then एक नया customer है जो which we are sort of struggle to compete with because उसी कोई brand loyalty नहीं है. उसको कुछ जो दिख रहा है, ad में अच्छा दिख रहा है, कुछ भी दिख रहा है कि he wants to try it. तो उसको that's when the effort comes in. That's when the quick delivery comes into play. पुराने वाले को तो मैं slow वाले से भेज दूंगा, उसको फर्क नहीं पड़ता कि वो आ जाएगा मतलब. लेकिन नए customer को he needs the product in good shape. He wants to be wowed with the delivery, and I think that's where the effort comes in. एक third भी है जिसको बहुत extremely fast चाहिए, वो RTO ही होता है वैसे ज़्यादातर. He's like most eager and he'll call and कि मेरे जूते क्या हुआ, अभी तक नहीं आया, and he's the first one to not pick up when the delivery guy is there. So I've tried multiple NDR strategies and whatnot and picked my brains, but जिसको नहीं लेना होता वो he needs is the fastest, by the way. So yeah.
Cool. So, what I hear from all three of you is that speed is something that really works.
Contribution. So, like he said, कि there are consumers who they're looking forward for having कि कब आ रहा है. There are a lot of questions and all. I think there are two ways of seeing it. Obviously, the faster delivery is there, but I think they need more of a communication. I think generally these logistic companies are doing that, but at times it happens it doesn't go to the customer, or even it is going. I think they have ordered multiple products, they don't understand कि just कि this is order is coming out of a transit or something. But what I feel like as in brand, it is very important once you have sold a product on a website or a marketplace, there should be a post-sales communication with the consumer that your product has been packed, right? Like marketplaces. I think marketplaces should be the pioneers to look forward for and to create an experience, right? When it is in shipped, it should be in message. It is in transit. When it is coming to your city, it should be when it is going forward for delivery. And that communication should happen from a brand especially. One thing what I feel like. And second thing, for example, what I'm telling you, Mike, is we were doing with Shiprocket. But Shiprocket हमें कभी easily Blue Dart का देता ही नहीं था. I think there are some clashes और जो भी धंधा पानी whatever I say. So we wanted Blue Dart because RTO बढ़ा हुआ था and we all know कि थोड़ा Blue Dart से it's better. तो पहले Blue Dart के पास गए, सामने से गए तो rate बढ़ा के देती है. So I think that's how business happens. फिर हम लोग शांत हो गए. We wait for 2-3 months. Business started growing. Some people got to know about us and all. They saw potential in us, and then they come. आपकी Blue Dart से like someone from other team came up and they gave us good rate and we got in. So reason of getting a Blue Dart is also एक Blue Dart का भी brand image है. Oh, so what happens is कि अगर वही चीज़ मैं delivery से भेज रहा हूँ या shadow fax से भेज रहा हूँ, अरे यार सस्ता जुगाड़ू तरीके से भेज रहा हूँ तो उतना वो नहीं. But when it comes with the Blue Dart tag कि Blue Dart से आया है, so they have a sense of association कि हाँ brand is good, they are using a good courier partner, right? And I've generally felt कि मेरा कभी Blue Dart से पंगा नहीं हुआ है. As a कि भैया कहाँ हो ये जी सर मैं आ गया हूँ देख लो सर. Like they have been like this. This is what I feel like कि they have trained their staff, right? So they have invested a lot of things, right? तो वो चीज़ understand होता है. And consumer also like मेरे को जब Blue Dart से आता है I think यार brand ने पैसा खर्च किया, right? So this is also a psychological effect which creates the impression in the consumer's mind, and that is also a kind of a thing, reason कि we wanted to be associated with Blue Dart.
Thanks, Ashwini, for that, compliment.
We will all go out from here getting a kick-ass deal from here.
Yeah, we'll ensure that. So the good thing is Blue Dart is based out of Mumbai. And we can have probably Dipanjan come and speak to you guys. Cool. So, yeah. So the underlying theme being that, and the input that I get from all of you all is that speed really plays a big role. And especially if you have a player like DHL Blue Dart, then delivering that product and the customer has that awareness, it sort of adds to the layer of trust, right? So that's something that you guys, unanimously said. But, this is what we see, right? I mean, there's a commercial angle to speed, right? Speed typically comes at a cost. And Blue Dart is, or DHL for that matter, we are never the cheapest. So we never aspire to be L1. And the reason for that is, we have to stand up to the kind of quality expectations that customers have. We have a track record, so we need to continue delivering that. So we ensure that we are extremely competitive, accessible to customers. But if we have to price it again at the kind of levels that, let's say, the market prices it, we may have to compromise on quality, and that's something that we can't do, right? So this is a question probably I have to Pradeep. See, now, your products are bulkier in nature, right? Bags are slightly bigger. So you'll have higher costs of logistics involved. Now add to that the element of speed. Are you willing to, let's say, spend that money to get speed, or is there an alternate way of achieving speed by keeping costs competitive? And that is something that we advocate, where we say split your inventory. But every brand has its own strategy, right? You may not necessarily feel the need to place inventory in multiple locations, but those are solutions that we offer. So any thoughts on that?
I think I'm going to take a continuation to what was discussed in the previous one and address this, right? I mean, the need for speed, I think, is also a function of category, right? So in food, I think it's specifically very high, and hence your Instamarts and commerce, all of them were built on sort of FMCG in that sense, right? In our category, at least, the expectation of speed is much lower. So I'm not saying customer doesn't want faster, right? I mean, customer will prefer 5 minutes delivery over 10 minutes delivery. There's no doubt about it, right? Everybody wants their product fastest, right? So, but it's also a question of what you rightly said, what is the premium the customer is going to pay, which then I have an opportunity either to pocket it or to pass it on, right? So first is sort of the category look. And then the second layer is sort of the stage of the company, right? In the start, you have so many things that can go wrong, right? From a product, brand, which distribution channel, etc. That probably in supply chain there is ability to pay a slightly more premium to say, at least my operations person के साथ मुझे follow up नहीं करना है कि pick up आज होगा, because I know the partner will get it done, right? And hence we pay premium. And we've done that in our journey. We've always paid a premium in the beginning to say, chalo theek hai. The premium could be for ease of pickup. The premium can also be because people don't know the brand. So at least when their product is coming from Blue Dart or DHL, there's कि हाँ आ जाएगा. It's not some Om Logistics से आ रहे हैं, like पैसे दे दिए, new brand है and Om Logistics भेज रहा है. There is no way that product is coming me, पैसा तो डूब गया, right? So you're also trying to solve for the brand value of the supply chain partner to solve your own sort of needs. But having said that, I have so far not seen any brand say that, don't worry, go for prepaid because the supply partner of mine is X. I have not seen that used, which I think as courier partners you all should look at, right? To say, how do you get your brand name out there, right? I mean, for example, Razorpay has done that in payments to some extent. Don't worry, Razorpay hai, money will not go, right? Can DHL do that, or Blue Dart do that, or Delivery do that is sort of out there. For brand owners, probably partners have done that. Like, I mean, that's how I think Shiprocket sort of came up, right? To say that, you can trust us, we can solve all your problems. But I think from a marketing point of view, that's not been done. That's sort of an open item there. But over a period of time, definitely for us today, we look at it as purely a cost center, right? And our view is that the distribution channel determines what the customer wants. If they want it really fast, it could be them going to an EBO or ordering via quick commerce. If they're okay with 1 to 2 days, it's probably Amazon. And all others are competing equally, right? I mean, Flipkart has their own logistics good in certain sort of regions. Myntra is doing that, etc. And if it is okay to wait, like he said, some of the customers are just okay to wait, right? They don't need it at a rush. They know कि अच्छा product सही भाव में आ जाएगा हमारे पास. They're okay to wait 4-5 days also, and hence D2C, right? So that's the spectrum. Now, I've also seen this from an evolution point of view, that initial, at least maybe 5 years back, the customer 99 out of 100 will say the fault is on the brand and not on the delivery partner. That number is now going more towards at least 30% of the blame is to the delivery partners. They'll say, मेरी area में इसके through मत भेजो, right? So at least to some extent they've taken Zouk out of that equation to some extent. They're still saying क्यों तुमने इसके through भेजा, right? But then they'll still tell you, you can send through this partner, which means some amount of the blame and delay in delivery is being assigned to the delivery partner and not the brand, right? But still 70% is on the brand, and I don't think even at Mamaearth or Boat scale people are going to be like, नहीं Mamaearth तो सही कर रहा है या Boat ने तो सही किया है, but is the logistic partner, वो नहीं होता. I think still the blame is on the brand and the onus is on the brand to get it delivered. And that is another space that I see an opportunity, because let's face it, if it is L1, then it's a fight to the bottom, right? Whoever can burn the most can sort of survive it. But if it is L2, L3, then there has to be a differentiation. Either it's the brand that I can leverage on to say, hey, I'm getting it delivered through DHL, right? So don't worry. So it's helping convert some customers, incremental conversion rates are happening. My CACs are little lower. I wouldn't say will drastically drop. Everybody's problem is CAC any which ways, right? But at least then there is a way to sort of pay a premium out. Or the second is you provide that service to say, this is not Zouk's fault, this is DHL and we are solving it. That means your layer of customer service comes in right there, because we invest significantly in two things. One is to solve for mera order kahan hai, right? Which is a key place where we spend on support. And the second one, which is even more worse, is firefighting, right? Ki people are tagging the brand here, there, commenting, tagging me everywhere, right? That's a brand reputation problem, which is also one-to-many problem. So in both of these places, if you are able to actively solve, and it is a layer beyond the service layer that you provide, then there is an opportunity to not fight the L1 battle. Otherwise, at least also the number of founders I've spoken to, it is still always a cost center thing, and you go pitch yourself, they will send you a rate card saying कि ये match कर दो, business आपको भी मिलेगा. It's not even आपको ही मिलेगा also, right? So that equation, I don't see that changing much yet in that sense.
Cool. So probably we sum up the inputs and answer to this question with two broad elements. A, speed plays a critical role, and the second, input that came in was that, the brand's reputation in a way is also tied to the delivery partner they're using. So in a way, our reputations help convert customers, give them that assurance with regards to experience and the money that they've spent. So that's a cool input, and something that we learn from our global team, especially in China, or let's say mature markets like China, US, etc., is that you rightly mentioned, right? Probably customers will pick and choose and tell you which logistic service partner to use for their PIN code or their address, etc. And we've seen these come in as a feature with companies in the mature markets wherein they are given the option. So typically right now it is the brand or the marketplace which dictates which PIN code is to be served by which service partner. But then in mature economies, customers have that option wherein they can probably choose a Blue Dart or a delivery or an XYZ for their deliveries. Probably we'll evolve to that level as things move forward and customers and brands evolve. So yeah, that's a good takeaway. Probably we'll move to the next question, and I'll try and bring all of you all in further. How do you efficiently manage order fulfillment to deliver on the promise, right? And this is again an extension to the first question. Probably Kushagra, if you want to hear.
So the idea here is we want to understand, so moving away from the repeat orders and all those things, how do you manage uh, the expectation of the customers, or how do you manage your service levels across the channels that you're selling? You mentioned, Puneet, that you have different type of customers, right? You have some strategy for some and some service levels for others. So is that a similar view all across, or you have something different? Nitin, we'll want to start with you, understanding since you are into gifting, it's much difficult to promise a time frame. I'm assuming you will be offering those time frame as well. So how do you manage that, and how do you manage different product categories on that regards, and different way of delivering those things?
And I'm assuming you guys have to stick to those timelines, right? Because it's an experience or a product based on a very specific occasion. So there's no point in the product coming in a day after, right? It has to absolutely be, it is time sensitive in nature. So the challenge is a lot more pronounced for you. So yeah.
तो दो फोल्ड में मैं आंसर करूँगा. एक तो आई थिंक आउट ऑफ ऑल द पीपल गिफ्टिंग कैटेगरिकली इज़ समथिंग विच इज़ वेरी टाइम सेंसिटिव. मतलब अगर आप कोई कैटेगरी की बात करें जिसके अंदर चाहे एपरल हो, शूज़ हो, एसेसरीज हो, तो उसके अंदर एक टाइम बाउंड डाला जा सकता है और थोड़ी लॉयल्टी भी वहाँ वर्क करती है. भाई मुझे इसी ब्रांड का प्रोडक्ट चाहिए, तो आई कैन, मैं कंज्यूमर हूँ ऑलरेडी, तो मैं ठीक है, मैं टाइम ले सकता हूँ वहाँ पे. जो फर्स्ट लोग हैं जिनको अभी हम कंज्यूमर बनाना चाहते हैं, जो कंज्यूमर बने नहीं है, जो केवल कस्टमर्स हैं, दे जस्ट वांट 2 से 3 क्राइटेरिया है. प्राइस कितना है, कितनी देर में मिल जाएगा. तो ये 2-3 हैं कि प्रोडक्ट कितना यूनिक है, प्राइस कितना सेंसिटिव है, और तीसरा कितनी देर में मिलने वाला है. इसी से गिफ्टिंग डिसाइड होता है. और मोस्टली गिफ्टिंग के अंदर भी मेरे को लगता है वो गिल्ट फ्री गिफ्टिंग बहुत ज़्यादा है. मतलब गिल्ट फ्री गिफ्टिंग का मतलब है कि भैया कोई भी ऐसा आइटम बस जो जल्दी से मिल जाए, ताकि मेरा वो उस इवेंट के हिसाब से जो गिल्ट है वो ख़त्म हो जाए. तो गिफ्टिंग इज़ लाइक दैट ओनली. हमारे केस के अंदर हम केक ऑफ फ्लावर्स में नहीं हैं. तो केक ऑफ फ्लावर्स तो और टाइम सेंसिटिव है कि ये तो घंटों में चाहिए आपको. हाँ, एक्सपायरी भी है वहाँ पे. तो एक तो आपको फ़नल बनानी पड़ती है कि कौन से प्रोडक्ट कौन सी जगह पे जा सकते हैं और कौन से टाइम पे जाते हैं. सिंस वी आर देयर इन द इंडस्ट्री फॉर अ डिसेंट पीरियड ऑफ टाइम, तो हमारे पास में ट्रेंड्स ऑलरेडी हैं कि किस टाइम पे, किस डेमोग्राफी में, या किस तरीके के प्राइस पॉइंट पे, कौन से प्लेटफॉर्म पे किस तरीके के प्रोडक्ट्स की क्या फ्रीक्वेंसी आती है. तो वी रियली नीड टू क्रिएट अ मैथ अराउंड इट. मतलब आज अगर हमारे को राखी पे काम करना होता है, इनफैक्ट लॉजिस्टिक एवरीबडी विल अग्री कि राखी बिकम द बिगेस्ट. दिवाली से भी ज़्यादा राखी सेंसिटिव है. दिवाली तो फिर थोड़ा कॉर्पोरेट की तरफ ज़्यादा मूव हो जाता है, बट डायरेक्ट टू कंज्यूमर स्पेस के अंदर राखी इज़ द बिगेस्ट इवेंट. और आप देखिए, मतलब मार्केट प्लेसेस तो आप देख लीजिए कि ऑलरेडी अगर 18 तारीख की राखी है तो 16 तारीख के ऊपर ही बोल देंगे कि 20 से पहले डिलीवर हो गई नहीं. वो ऑलरेडी डाल ही डालते हैं कि भैया यहाँ पे मालूम है कि इतना ज़्यादा ट्रैफिक होगा कि लॉजिस्टिक सप्लाई चेन मैनेजमेंट वर्क नहीं करेगा. बट यहाँ पे फिर क्विक कॉमर्स ने उस चीज़ को सॉल्व करने की काफ़ी कोशिश की है. इस बार अगर ये स्टैटिस्टिक्स निकल के आई कि भैया एक मिनट में 600 ऑर्डर्स प्रोसेस किए गए ब्लैंकेट, इंस्टामार्ट या फिर जेप्टो ने मिला के, तो दैट चेंज द एंटायर मैट टुगेदर. बट इफ़ वी टॉक अबाउट फ्रॉम द लॉजिस्टिक परस्पेक्टिव, ONDC एक बहुत अलग तरीके का फ्रेमवर्क लेके आ रहा है, और मुझे लगता है कि कस्टमर्स आर बिकमिंग स्मार्टर इनफ, बिकॉज इट्स नॉट जस्ट प्राइस बट इट इज़ ऑल्सो अबाउट प्रेफरेंस. कि भाई चारों चीज़ों को आपने डिसेंट्रलाइज कर दिया, बायर, सेलर, लॉजिस्टिक और पेमेंट को, तो हर चीज़ एक उस लेवल पे आ गई कि ट्रांसपेरेंसी आ जाएगी वहाँ पे. तो फ्रॉम द स्टैंड पॉइंट ऑफ गिफ्टिंग विथ लॉजिस्टिक, इट्स वेरी टाइम सेंसिटिव फॉर अस, एंड एट द सेम टाइम now customers are becoming the people who are choosing, not the sellers or the brand from where and with logistic partner they want to work. It's customer who is choosing कि कहाँ पे मेरे को मेरा ब्रांड रॉयल्टी मिल रहा है, और एट द सेम टाइम मेरे को अश्योरेंस है कि लॉजिस्टिक एक्सपीरियंस भी मेरा ठीक है. पहले तो केवल बायर और सेलर की तरफ चलता था कि अच्छा इस ब्रांड के प्रोडक्ट को मैं देख रहा हूँ. अभी मैं पेमेंट को भी उतना ही कंसिडर कर रहा हूँ कि कौन सा पेमेंट सबसे स्मूथ तरीके से हो रहा है, या मेरे को क्या एडिशनल बेनिफिट्स मिल रहे हैं उस पेमेंट मेथड को यूज़ करके. सेम गोज़ विथ लॉजिस्टिक. और जैसा कि एक इम्पॉर्टेंट पॉइंट प्रदीप ने भी कहा था कि एट सम पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम इवन लॉजिस्टिक कंपनी नीड टू एक्ट एज अ ब्रांड. अगर लॉजिस्टिक कंपनीज ब्रांड्स की तरह एक्ट नहीं करेगी तो कस्टमर्स ऑलरेडी काफ़ी स्मार्ट हो गए हैं, तो वो ब्रांड अश्योरेंस आ नहीं पाता है वहाँ पे. मतलब वी आर ऑल्सो लाइक कस्टमर नहीं, हम तो कंज्यूमर हैं DTDC की तरफ, बिकॉज वी हैव रियलाइज ओवर द पीरियड ऑफ टाइम. जब वो RTOs आपके 20% से ऊपर की तरफ चले जाते तो इट बिकम रियलाइजेशन फॉर एवरीबडी. एंड इट हैपन्ड आफ्टर कोविड ओनली, बिकॉज लोग के पास में और कोई काम नहीं था कि 15 जगह से ऑर्डर कर देते हैं, लेना एक सही है. तो दैट्स अ 2 टाइम बैकफायर. या नहीं, ही वॉज ऑल्सो कोटिंग कि RTOs जब शूटअप हुए तब लॉजिस्टिक का वैल्यू सबको समझ में आ गया. तो आई थिंक फॉर अस, आई पर्सनली फील कि दिस इज द टाइम वेयर थिंग्स नीड टू बी मोर ट्रांसपेरेंट. वो आपका हमेशा बॉटम ऑफ द पिरामिड वर्क नहीं करेगा, क्वालिटी बिल्कुल मैटर करेगा. और हर चीज़ अब ब्रांड हो गया है. एक लॉजिस्टिक कंपनी भी एक ब्रांड हो गया. अगर आप उसमें वो ब्रांड बिल्डअप नहीं कर पा रहे और अपनी अकाउंटेबिलिटी तय नहीं करवा पा रहे, तो हर बार सेलर उस चीज़ की अकाउंटेबिलिटी नहीं लेगा. आप पैसा ज़्यादा लीजिए लेकिन अकाउंटेबिलिटी भी साथ में दीजिए कि हमारा फॉल्ट है.
So we are into the health, wellness, and personal care. When it comes to the personal care, our customers are patient enough to wait for 2 or 3 days more. But when it comes to the health and wellness product, health में then we have wellness products में still we have immunity booster कि ठीक है उसको 2 दिन के बाद चालू करेंगे तो चलेगा. But when comes to the health product कि कोल्ड है बच्चे को, कोल्ड की हमने दवाई मंगवाई है. अब वो कब मंगवाते, पहले से ऑर्डर नहीं कर रहे. दे वांटेड कि आज बच्चे को कोल्ड हुआ है, मुझे 2 से 3 दिन में चाहिए. व्हेन दे आर फार मेट्रो सिटीज़ या वहाँ पे दूर है तो the problems that we are facing right now, of course, we are using Blue Dart only. वहाँ पे भी हमारा our return rate is around 10 to 11%. यहाँ से हमारा we have one method in हम जो करते हैं specifically to give customer experience, good customer experience. जब order आता है तब एक message send होता है. वहाँ पे उनको पूछते हैं जब COD order होता है, confirm this COD order, only then we will proceed. तो दैट इज़ वन लेयर तो वहाँ पे चला गया कि जो फेक ऑर्डर्स आ रहे हैं जिनको नहीं चाहिए वो. बट वी फील फ्रॉम आर एक्सपीरियंस हेल्थ एंड वेलनेस में पीपल नीड दैट प्रोडक्ट. उनको ऐसा नहीं कि आज परचेज कर ले, लाइक लाइफस्टाइल प्रोडक्ट की डिलीवर हुआ नहीं चाहिए, नहीं अच्छा लगा. वहाँ पे कस्टमर केयर में वी हैव अ टीम. वहाँ पे 80% क्वेरीज दैट वी आर रिसीविंग इज़ नॉट अबाउट द प्रोडक्ट, इट इज़ अबाउट मेरा प्रोडक्ट कब डिलीवर हो रहा है. द सेकेंड थिंग, अभी कहाँ पहुँचा है. अब क्या होता है कि हम लिंक दे देते, ट्रैकिंग लिंक तो अवेलेबल है. दे आर से नहीं, ये नहीं चल रहा है, या तो वी आर नॉट गेटिंग एनी काइंड ऑफ नोटिफिकेशन. यू शुड सेंड अस दिस नोटिफिकेशंस. नाउ वी आर हैविंग ट्रबल इंटीग्रेटिंग योर अपडेट्स विथ आर वेबसाइट कि उनको वहाँ पे कहीं पे मिल जाए. वेरी फर्स्ट थिंग. द सेकेंड थिंग इज़ फिर प्रोसेस क्या होती है, कहीं पे लॉस्ट हो गया बीच में ऑर्डर, एंड दिस इज़ हेल्थ एंड वेलनेस, उनको चाहिए ही वो प्रोडक्ट. फिर हमारी वेयरहाउस टीम में से ब्लू डार्ट में कस्टमर केयर से बात करते, उसमें आधा 1 घंटा चला जाता है कि ऑर्डर का स्टेटस कहाँ पे. इवन दे डोंट नो, वो आगे पूछते, वो अगर वो बहुत फ्रीक्वेंटली हो रही है ये सारी चीज़ें. एंड उसके बाद पता चलता है कि वो रिटर्न हो रहा है. अब customer is on call telling us कि we have not received this product, and we are getting the response that customer ने pick up नहीं किया है call, and that is the reason we are returning the order. Now we have that policy कि जब भी order return आता है ना, we call each and every customer for the reason why did you return that product, so that we understand कि क्या चल रहा है. वहाँ से 80% customer again says that we want this product, and we reship the same product to them, and the next time they receive the product. Very first problem. The second problem is 10वां ऑर्डर है कस्टमर का, वी हैव गुड रिपीट रेट. वहाँ पे 9 ऑर्डर्स डिलीवर हुए, 10वां ऑर्डर रिटर्न आया, एड्रेस नॉट फाउंड. सो हाँ, तो वो क्या रीज़न है. सो वी डोंट हैव एनी ऑप्शन टू कनेक्ट टू द डिलीवरी पर्सन और एट दैट सेंटर हेड वहाँ पे कि आप मेरे को एग्जैक्टली बताइए. अगर कस्टमर वहाँ पे जैसे 3 अटेम्प्ट्स होते, वी आर यूजिंग शिप क्लूज, तो वहाँ पे हमें दिखाते फर्स्ट अटेम्प्ट हुआ, कस्टमर वॉज नॉट एट होम, तो हम सीधा ही कॉल करते. कस्टमर्स लाइक हम तो घर पे ही बैठे हैं, वाई डिड वी लाई टू दी डिलीवरी गाय वहाँ पे. फिर सेकेंड अटेम्प्ट होता है, एड्रेस नॉट फाउंड, अथवा और तो पिन कोड मिसमैच वहाँ पे. अरे पहले तो आप घर पे जाके आए, सेकेंड पिन कोड, एंड वी डोंट हैव एनी एक्सेस टू दैट सेंटर कि नहीं देयर इज समथिंग डिलीवरी गाय इज डूइंग रॉन्ग वहाँ पे. और काफ़ी कम आता है, बट दैट क्वेश्चन इज अगेन देयर कि डिलीवरी गाय मिसबिहेव्ड. और दूसरा क्या होता है पता है, दिस इज समथिंग आई फाउंड आउट न्यू. डिलीवरी गाइज बोलते हैं बिकॉज वी आर अ न्यू ब्रांड, वी आर नॉट अ वेल नोन ब्रांड लाइक दिस अदर ब्रांड्स. ये आपका फेक ऑर्डर हो सकता है, अगर आपने अभी पेमेंट कर दिया ना तो आप खोलोगे बॉक्स तो कुछ होगा नहीं. दिस इज़ व्हाट कस्टमर सेड टू अस वहाँ पे. सो आई थिंक एट दैट लेवल ये जो थोड़ा माइक्रो मैनेजमेंट एट डिलीवरी पर्सन की साइड से या तो सेंटर्स की साइड से, आई थिंक वी एज अ ब्रांड शुड हैव सम काइंड ऑफ एक्सेस रादर देन गोइंग टू दैट कस्टमर केयर सेंटर्स. वहाँ से फॉरवर्ड करते 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 पहुँचते नहीं होता है.
जो कि फेक आए इन पास्ट एंड ऑल. दिस इज हाउ दे क्रिएट अ सेंस, एंड इट टेक्निकली शोज दैट कि दे जस्ट वांटेड टू, बिकॉज वी ऑल नो कि जब रिटर्न आता है तो पैसा बनता है. for
so we are
logistics.
not sure. या तो any some kind of compensation that brand should get कि हमें इसको re-send करना है वापस. And customer wants that. Now we have all the recordings, everything. कि customer को चाहिए था, customer ने call नहीं उठाया, that is something wrong. तो हमारा क्यों उठा रहा है? हमें क्यों हाँ बोल रहा है? Same customer. Those are the customers 2 to 3% जो पहले हाँ बोलते, फिर हमारा भी call नहीं उठाते. We still understand that thing. But majority, 80% of the customers, we have to every time resend those orders. And then health and wellness, they needed it urgently. नहीं हुआ, फिर से कर रहे हैं. First and the second is the repeat orders. अगर पहला order भैया deliver हुआ तो दूसरा क्यों नहीं हो रहा है वही address पे? अब आपको क्यों pin code का problem आया? So that is something we are not able to find out the solution.
I have one suggestion from your side. तो जैसे आप मतलब tracking IDs देते हैं, आप tracking tags देना start करिए. Yes, just think about it. Like if you can actually give GPS enabled tags, and with every single product that GPS tag can be added, and that it can be tracked by both the people, from the customer.
I'll support that with a small example.
I think the problem is not the tag technically. The problem is the verbal communication he is having with the consumer. That is not cannot be trackable. He's at the location, but he has created a fear in his mind, her mind कि इसमें कुछ भी हो सकता है. So that is not trackable. That is all going psychological.
No, I think I'll
जैसे trainings हैं वो फिर की जा सकती है, but genuinely मतलब what she is speaking from her heart and I can relate it in so many ways. Plus one. But just think about it, like it will address so many, because देखिए आप है ना क्विक कॉमर्स ने एक चीज़ जिसको सॉल्व किया है ना वो है रियल टाइम ट्रैकिंग. मतलब द मोमेंट यू आर ऑर्डरिंग समथिंग फ्रॉम स्विगी और एनीथिंग, आई कैन सी इट रियल टाइम मूविंग. So that establishes a trust in my head कि my product is moving. What quick commerce is solved, which e-commerce did not yet, is, and because the logistic dependencies on logistic partners. But if that can happen, if it's an investment. But आप सोचिए कि इससे अगर overall level पे business के P&L के ऊपर आप देखेंगे कि मेरा जो भी RTOs है या cash on delivery की वजह से जो भी मेरा backlash आ रहा है, या फिर because the delivery partner is not acting properly मेरा बहुत सारा problem है, तो मैं accountability तय कर पा रहा हूँ from the brand perspective, and the logistic company can also set accountability because track हुआ ना, तुम तो move ही नहीं हुए हो, सामान ही नहीं गया कहीं पे, आप बोल रहे हो 4 बार attempt किया, कहाँ किया attempt?
I'll give an extension from my own experience also. So हमारा एक fulfillment center जम्मू में है, एक बैंगलोर में है, एक दिल्ली में है. हमें सबसे ज़्यादा problem, sorry it looks like more of a complaint session, but I'm just trying to add a point. So what he said with with regards to addition of tracking, I think it's definitely achievable. अगर आप truck aggregators को देखेंगे, in a B2B case, we know वो truck कहाँ से निकला है, अभी कहाँ है, अभी when it's reaching. But with the B2C orders, especially the surface orders, the problem is, for example, अगर मेरा order जम्मू से निकला है, it's not a direct connect to Bangalore. It goes to Ambala, then goes to Delhi. I don't know how many states it crosses. When it goes to Ambala, the next touch point is Bangalore. उसके बीच में 5 दिन कस्टमर को पता नहीं है कि where the order is. So yes, so yeah, I think there is a lot of scope of improvement with regards to the communication bit, and this I'm talking about Blue Dart, also along with the other logistics. So I think there's a lot of scope with regards to how you communicate better to the customers so that those kind of escalations can be reduced at a brand level also. Because like she said, 80% of the complaints are related to logistics than the brand products.
My point is Nitin, right? Nitin. So in addition to Nitin's discussion, I really like the idea. So I think what happens, like you said, कि Ambala से Bangalore में नहीं दिख रहा. Probably it must be on the way, right? And I think maybe a consumer needs to see it. But for me, it is like it has reached the location from the point it says out of delivery. I think there should be a tracking at least. I think the first point it should start from there. Then we may take it to further. I think because जब out of delivery आ जाता है, we never know कि वो कब आने वाला है. 1 घंटे बाद आने वाला है या 3 घंटे बाद आने वाला है. अगर if we solve that thing, a consumer can align himself with that thing. Because जैसे मुझे पता होता है Zomato में यार आधे घंटे में आ रहा है या 20 मिनट में आ रहा है, 25 मिनट में आ रहा है. Like for example, because हम लोग इतने impatient हो चुके हैं in this life कि यार अब Sometimes it happens कि I'm going to washroom and his phone buzz गया. Zomato का call भैया काम है ना भैया 5 मिनट भैया ये वो and all, then all clashes start. So I'm just giving you like life scenario. So I think out of delivery wala thing can happen.
Sure.
Slightly different thesis and also sort of a different way to look at it. I think over a period of time, customers don't want to track, right? I think no, the end customer. The end customer, I think over a period of time will not want to track. The end customer just wants the product. I think we've all, not we all, sorry, I'm generalizing, but I think good portion of metro customers have transitioned into, in marketplaces, you expect by default ki if I have returned it, payment will come back. I don't think we track and then go to Amazon support and say, ye wala order, 749 या मेरा refund अभी तक नहीं आया. I think you expect कि वो आ जाएगा. Right? So if you can offer the same comfort to end customers, I think you can get out of the L1 wala game, and then brands will be willing to pay a premium, and there might be some commercial ways to do it. I don't know if the tag is the most efficient way. If it is, then it is. But the clearest one is to say, no questions asked, you will not be charged for this order. So at least as a brand, you're like, हाँ, RTO होगा तो I'll not be charged. If it is a wrong way, and the onus is on the delivery partner to ensure through whatever geofencing, etc., कि actually attempt हुआ कि नहीं हुआ, and all of that, right? हाँ, right? GoQuick is sort of offering something like that, but I think it has to get to that state for you to move out of the PFA, my rate card, match this and get the business. And if that can happen, then it's seamless. Because reality is, as a brand, I'm willing to pay a premium if the logistics service is like Amazon, right? Truly, that is the gold standard when it comes to 1-2 day delivery. And in quick commerce, I mean, I think it's more anxiety to say 15 minutes में आ रहा है कि नहीं 15 minutes में, and all of that. And it's food, which means you're hungry, right? At that point, jaldi भेजो, अभी भेजो. But I think otherwise, customers are end customer, and we'll always solve for end customer, because if it's giving me incremental orders, it's saving the biggest headache, which is CAC, then like everything else maaf hai, right?
So I think just to add on to that, I think it could be a bit like offensive to say other founders who are into IT and other things, that there's only incremental improvements that need to be made on your end. I feel that you're leaving it out for other fringe players to come in and take their space. For example, automated messaging, कि वो order यहाँ पहुँच गया. So there's a third party player that's there doing the job for you. Then कि कहाँ पे वापस आने का है return. There's a third party player who's sort of filling the gap. So I think investment wise may not should be an easy. It's a low hanging fruit for you guys. Just tap into those incremental changes. For example, he mentioned the geo tracking. So there'll be people doing it already. So you just pick and choose, make it more intuitive for the customer. Like he said, that people don't want to track it beyond a point. They assume that it's going to take 2 days and it's going to come. So I think just make it more seamless, and I think that L1 question wouldn't even come into play, right? That I would just be there.
Our website, for example, when we have a customer, if you are a customer and you have placed the order, first message you will get is your order is placed, and you have to confirm it if it is a COD order. The next order is, okay, we have received your order and this is confirmed. The third message that will go is your order is packed and ready to ship. The fourth message goes is your order has been shipped. No communication after that. So that is somewhere, shipped and then delivered. And the last fifth message will go is order is delivered. वो कब मिलेगा? जब we will get the updates from you guys कि ये order delivered होगा, and then we send that message. But what in between? वहाँ पे थोड़ा problem आ रहा है अभी.
In between होता है. मतलब when I order something कहीं से, Blue Dart, I'm talking about Blue Dart specifically. If I order from another brand या कुछ, तो आता है मतलब
The SMS that we get.
Out for delivery वाला भी SMS आता
हाँ.
है, और उससे पहले वाला भी message आता है कि it is at your reach at your hub destination. Reach at hub destination का message आता है. So I get it. I don't know what is happening.
Sure.
I don't know.
So,
They should know that order is dispatched, it is coming to your end. They want to know.
so,
एक message तो बहुत important है. डिलीवरी वाला मैसेज चला जाए ना तो फिर थोड़ा सा कस्टमर थोड़ा सा चौकन्ना हो जाता है, कह लो ऐसा कह लो, है ना, कि ठीक है आई विल हैव टू बी एट सर्टेन टाइम घर पे, या समवन शुड बी देयर एट व्हाटएवर जो भी है, तो वो तो मैसेज बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है। डिलीवर्ड का फिर उसके बाद रिव्यू का वो बकवास
confirmation. So basically, on the back end, when we look at how we have set it up, so all these things are possible, right? So when we start a business, we agree on things, how many SMS you need, when you need it to be sent to your end consumer. Do you want to send it through maybe a DHL, saying that DHL will deliver this, or do you don't want us to mention our name? It only brand's name that will be mentioned. So all those things happen at the start when we start the business. So that's the configuration, I guess, when we start the business that needs to happen. Should come from our side as well, whoever is engaging with you. There are expectations that you have. So that's the handshake that happens. It should happen. On the, so what point you mentioned, Puneet, and what delivery happens in the international bit as well. So we do that. The problem is, again, when we start the business, the configuration that happens. So every bit wherever a shipment is scanned is normally updated at the back end, because it has to be scanned, and the box is scanned, or a bag is scanned, or the segregation happens. So we do update it. It all depends on what is showing at the front face to the end consumer. So you can have 10 or 15 updates happening at the customer. But again, it's a decision that you need to take, how much you want to bother them as well with a message. We take that last bit of point that where a lot of time there is no attempt made and it's falsely. That happens with Amazon as well. We almost have experienced it. So that's something that we are also trying to solve. It's more of a habit thing. It's more of a training thing. But that geofencing bit helps. There are now we have devices where you have to take signages, and with COVID that stopped sign on glass and everything. But that will come again most probably, and we will solve some bit of it. But yeah, we take your point, very valuable inputs. That's where, that's I guess one of the reason we wanted to have these kind of sessions, to understand from you guys what you're looking at, what's the next step that we need to take here. Two enough. Okay. More than that. Yeah, it's more than that.
This is only the D2C.
Not the.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask, there's a problem with the consumers that we have been facing in, like, once there is a customer return, the consumer, जैसे उसका pick होता है, within 24 hours, he wants a refund. Oh, this has been like hitting us a lot in terms of our brand value, or whether we say in terms of consumer experience. And with marketplaces, it's easy. Like the moment they get it, within like 10 next 15 minutes or maybe 1 hour, 2 hours, you receive the refund, right? So like with Blue Dart, I wanted to experience something of with DHL, like whatever is being delivered, right? When if it, and it's coming as a customer return, you guys do some inspection and give us a thumbs up, right? And then if you give us a thumbs up, and we from our backend we disperse the amount the same day. Because if we create that as an experience to the consumer, I'm sure that then we can really compete with the marketplaces as a D2C brand. Because I know this is the only one factor where I think marketplaces has an edge till now. क्योंकि लोग जो घबराते हैं ना, क्योंकि उनका वही है कि तो सबके पास टाइम उतना ही है कि कौन लिखेगा मेल मेरे को दे तो पैसे ये कर दो वो कर दो, क्योंकि हम फॉर अस इसलिए कि 4 दिन वेट करो या 5 दिन वेट करो, आएगा फिर 1 दिन हमारे पास लगेगा इंस्पेक्शन करने में, फिर वो जाएगा फाइनेंस के पास अप्रूवल के लिए, फिर आएगा, तो इट्स अ विंडो फॉर 7 to 8 days, समटाइम गोज फॉर 10 days ऑल्सो. तो वो वहाँ पे फिर क्या होता है, वो कस्टमर अगर मान लो कि साइज़ की वजह से भी हुआ इशू, उसको एक्सचेंज करना था बट उसको एक्सचेंज नहीं मिला, तो बट मेरा ब्रांड वैल्यू नहीं गया, बट ड्यू टू जस्ट बिकॉज ऑफ रिफंड इज गेटिंग लेट, ही गेट्स इनसिक्योर, मतलब बाहर में जाए नेक्स्ट टाइम कुछ भी हो, या तो इस ब्रांड को खरीदना है तो आई विल गो फ्रॉम मिंत्रा और फ्रॉम फ्लिपकार्ट और XYZ, but I'll not buy it from the website.
Yeah, to specifically answer your question, we do offer return solutions, and there are 2 ways of doing it. One is at the doorstep, right? So within Blue Dart, we have a reverse pickup product, and it is typically used by customers who are selling products at a very high value, mobile phones, etc. Wherein we'll go to your doorstep, you will return back the product to us. We'll do the QC then and there, right? We ensure that it's the same serial number, the product isn't damaged, it's being returned back intact. We tag that, it's a successful pickup, and, it gets activated. And you can then ensure that, if you're the brand, you make the refund. That is one aspect. The second aspect is, and this is something that is more prominent for the fashion players, is that you tend to wait for the product to come to the warehouse and the warehouse team to do the QC. So again, there are two elements there. One is you may want to make a claim to the marketplace. If it's a marketplace who's picking up the product and bringing it to, let's say, your brand managed warehouse, which you can always outsource to a DHL, for example. So again, we'll do the same thing. We'll receive the product at the warehouse, do a QC, and if the QC passes, we pass on that message to you. And all this can happen seamlessly, right? We have integrations made available. We can pass on that message to you, and you can ensure returns happen. And for us, typically, the transit time agreed for customers is same day. So once we get the returns, depending on what the capacity is agreed, we
I want
give
you
you
to
the
understand one thing over here. आपने QC किया, right? You guys.
Yeah, sure. Probably we wrap up the session considering we're running late. And you
Just
make the
wanted to
point.
understand if the QC you guys did was wrong when we received the product at our own warehouse. So you'll give us the full claim, right?
Yeah, thank you. Thanks.
That's what I wanted to understand. What happens in that scenario?
Yeah, so that's a very specific operational understanding that can always be agreed upon between us and the brand. We are typically open to such penalties, provided, we are typically responsible. So the answer to that is yes, can be done. Cool. Anyway, so thank you guys. I guess we're running out of time. It was a great discussion. Thank you for contributing.